That should be good to go. I'm bleeding back. Why am I bleeding back?
Because we got to turn down VIN 9.
But if we turn down VIN 9, will the phone thing work?
Good question. How about now? You're still feeding back?
No, I'm not feeding back.
Okay, so whatever you did, you fixed it.
Yeah, but all I did was turn off the sound on the thing.
So what I was
Doing it again.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm not feeding back. It was actually my phone.
Oh,
Okay, so that's fine. Yeah. Okay. I left my phone running. I didn't realize it.
hmm.
So, or not that wasn't what I wanted. Okay. I see the pre-show. So, let's see. Closed captions off. I already got one viewer. Can you hear me? I'm not getting. Well, am I getting any feedback up on the monitor on the thing?
I can't hear you.
I wonder what the problem is.
I can't hear your mic. And I got orange turned up.
Okay, so orange is plugged in. But I'm talking. So I'm wondering if are you turned up?
I'll turn you up full. Go ahead.
How about now? Can
There
you
we
hear
go.
me?
Yeah, I just had to turn you up on the master switch here.
Okay, so the master switch was down.
There
So
you go.
We should be good to go. Okay, do this real quick.
Oh, you know, he probably had the gate. Yeah, he messes with the gates all the time.
Why?
He thinks it sounds better, but he's wrong. And then I always close all the gates. I open them up. There we go.
Okay, that's taken care of. Turn that off.
Oh, you got your first viewer.
Yeah, that's the Mick'S World.
Yeah. He likes the fact that your names are similar.
He doesn't realize I don't pay attention to him.
Hmm.
Okay, so let's see. Dun, dun, dun. I gotta make a few more shares, but we'll be ready to go in just a second.
Okay.
Just a few more. Yeah. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, send. And then when I get home tonight, after I send out those pictures, I gotta freaking go through my Facebook Messenger and archive a lot of these conversations. So now I got 2. Yay. Let's see what's going on. Let's see. Yeah. So Rob Chase, welcome back, man. Hopefully you enjoyed my plug for your show. I didn't listen to the show last night, Rob. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he did the same thing. When he was closing off the show, he said, be sure to watch Mick'S World.
I kind of fell asleep last night. So,
Well,
okay, let's see. We should be good to go.
okay. Do you need me to adjust the camera?
Yeah, I need to come a little bit.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. Well, when you adjust, when you move it sideways, we'll find out. No, I meant like left and right. I'm trying to figure out how to fit in the middle of the timer and Mick'S World. Yeah, right there.
That's good.
Yeah. I wish we had control of the lights.
You want more light?
No, these drop lights are like really hard to make it really hard to see the feed because they're so bright. But it's this one actually up here.
Yeah.
But that's fine. I can deal with it. So I can see myself. Okay, so I'll just hit the 5 to go, right?
Okay.
The timer button.
Yeah, when you press the 5, it should start.
Okay. 1 second. Want to make sure that wasn't messed with. Okay, so here we go. 5. Welcome to Mick'S World. Today we're going to be taking questions and comments from people, but under certain rules. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you sound great.
Under
Turn up
certain-
orange if you need more volume.
Yeah, I keep forgetting deaf people. Under certain conditions, either be on topic or be respectful. If you're not respectful and not on topic, I'm going to ignore you. So let's start out with the subject that is kind of interesting and kind of morbid at the same time. We need to talk about checking on your hermit friends. And I call them hermits because they don't like to leave their houses, or when you know one of your friends is mentally or physically disabled and likes to go code silent, check on them at least once a week, people. Make sure they're doing okay. Make sure, or I shouldn't say code silent, I should say radio silent. Make sure they're doing okay. Make sure you check on them. And don't wait until you see their mail backing up or you see their car hasn't moved in a couple weeks. Check on them. We had a massive heat wave recently. If you have elderly neighbors, check on them. Make sure that they are safe and sound. Check on them in the summer. Check on them in the winter. Make sure you check and make sure ask them if they need their lawn mowed or they need their snow moved or if they need something done. So they're not out there in this 90 to 100 degree weather trying to put out physical exertion. I've been to too many EMS calls where an elderly individual or a individual with breathing problems or heart problems had been out in the sun doing jobs and were beating themselves to death when they shouldn't be out there. Make sure you check on people that you know have asthma, diabetes, that kind of stuff. They need our help more than anybody else. But on to other subjects. There's like I said, I have tomorrow I have an event, so that'll be good. End of August, August 30th, will be a Nickel City Wrestling show at the Shawnee Fire Department. I haven't gotten the actual times and dates, the start time, but it's August 30th. Will be the next Nickel City Wrestling show. I'm hoping in August to be doing a month-long show on special needs families. Next week, I plan on doing a show with a friend of mine who is going to talk about how he became one of the best commentators for Nickel City Wrestling. He is actually the best play-by-play and commentator for Nickel City Wrestling. If we can, and also from what I heard, from the rumor I've heard recently, Raw is coming to Buffalo, HSBC Arena. So we're going to see who and what worked out. What else do I have going on? I'm going to be trying, like I said, I'm going to be trying to do a month-long a month-long set of shows on the not wrestling, but on special needs families. Also, yeah, that's a subject we need to go into. If somebody with special needs, like say an adult or a child, has special needs, you do not treat them like they are a leper. You do not treat them like they are they don't deserve to be in your world, our country, whatever you want to call it. You treat them like a normal human being. And if you don't, guess what? I catch you, I'm going to give you hell. And then there's also people that don't belong in certain communities, certain spaces. Let's just put it that way. Because they have nothing to do with the particular term that went off. But again, it's an open concept, an open individuals. So we'll see how things turn out. I want to give a shout out to everybody who did the Nickel City Con. I hope they enjoyed it. All the vendors, all of the guest hosts, or all the guests, all of the things. I was kind of sad that I heard that some of the people didn't have a good time. They said it was too hot, or they just didn't have enough sales. That kind of did upset me. There's a shout out to a few people who have pushed themselves to the limits, day after day, year after year. Also, in I think it's October-ish, mid-October to early November, the curling, veterans curling will start back up. We'll have fun with that. I will have pictures up of that for another year. And on top of that, we have a few other things. And there's lessons that need to be taught to people who do shows on here and other places on how to upload photos and upload their everything so they know what they're doing. What was I going to say? But we'll see how that all works out. In the next few weeks, I'm going to be trying to put together a list of times, dates for shows, and I'm going to be also I'm going to be working on a plan for shows, like what the topic's going to be, when I'm going to run that topic. And like I said, either I'll take comments and questions, but they must be respectful and they must try to stay on the topic we're discussing at the time. If not, then, I'm going to ignore you. We have a few other things. There's a few different events that are going on in the area. We have Raw coming. We have the Snuggled in Love event tomorrow. We have a few, like I said, a few other ones. And just for a shout out for myself, honestly, if you need a photographer, please contact me. I do photography. Contact me for rates on how much I charge per hour, how far I will go to do the photography job, and other things. But on top of that, also, if anybody's seen this, if you are part of a scout unit or a Cub Scout unit that is working on merit badges for, say, photography or wilderness survival, please take the time, look me up on Scout USA, and contact me. I will gladly come to your scout group and help you, or scout unit, and help your scouts get their merit badges for photography and wilderness survival. on top of that, we have other events. If you get a moment, please check up on, like I said, please check up on your neighbors, the elderly, the medically challenged. Let's put it that way. I'm not going to say medically disabled, but the medically challenged due to, like I said, some things you could be dealing with: diabetes, having asthma, having difficulty breathing. Oh, not OCD, COPD. You don't want or heart issues. You don't want these people out in public doing hard manual labor in the summer or the winter, where they're going to force themselves into a medical condition. So what else do we got to talk about? There's something else. Let's see. Just so everybody has a heads up. Oh, that's another thing. Erie County Fair is coming up in August. If you get a chance to go to the Erie County Fair, make sure you check out the photography and the craft area. There will be photos up there from veterans, from the veterans one stop. My photos will probably be up there. A few other people's photos will be up there. We're going to be having them on display. They will be in each by category, but they won't be under a certain banner. They'll just be under by category. Like categories are, hang on, because I'll be nice enough to let everybody know what the categories are once I get them again. Excuse me. That wasn't what I wanted. See, no, it's not under that. I've never heard of a pot roast Sunday, but that's okay. Because I really just honestly don't care. Still trying to find it, guys. I'm sorry if it's taking a few minutes. The categories, like some of the categories are portrait, and stuff like that. There's portrait, there's flowers, there's, what is I going to say? There's portraits, there are flowers, there are animals, zoo animals, or one or two animals at a time. What was I going to say? There was something going on in my brain, categories. I lost the email that I wanted, actually, because I don't know where I put it. Like I said, there will be bunch of different. There's a bunch of different categories, and that's not what I was looking for. Let's see. Nope. But yeah, there's a lot of different exhibits. I recommend checking out the craft thing, because there will be what was it? There will be crafts. There will be photography. There will be other things. Some of the exhibits that will be going on are the fire department. Mercy Flight will have one of their helicopters up there. There'll also be the concerts and the shows. I'm actually interested this year to watch the fire or to watch the pig races. But we all know that I'll probably not catch that because it gets too hot and stuff like that. And then we got other things to take care of. Let's be honest. There's the firemen. There's the state patrol repelling, state police repelling, and dog exhibits. There's like I said, the pig races. There's the motorcycle Riders of Doom or something. I don't know what exactly it is. There's a few other things that go on, but we're gonna try. I'm gonna try to catch a lot of it, and hopefully, if it's not too heavy, I might bring my camera this year, take some pictures, and enjoy the fair. The last few years I went to the fair, I just didn't want to bring my camera and carry it around. It's heavy, it's hot. Don't want somebody bumping into me, messing up my gear. On top of that, we have there is some good food, and then there are special days for firefighters and first responders, veterans. They have a bunch of different activities going on. Make sure you check out the Erie County Fair website, and we'll see how things go. But right now we've got a bunch of different things that I've been wanting to talk about, but I can't remember what they are exactly. I didn't write them down. But if anybody has an idea for a show, a reasonable idea for a show, please let me know. I do plan on hopefully running a show about where I pick up two different items and I compare them. On air, it would be like maybe cookies or chips, or on top of that, it may also be, I may discuss Reddit post. I'll read a Reddit post and then give my opinion on it. There's a bunch of TikTok videos that I've seen that I would like to give my opinion on, and a lot of them are ridiculous. And then there's always my ever favorite subject, dealing with people who bash other people. I'm tired of listening to the bashing. I'm tired of listening to what's the word I'm looking for? Tired of listening to the bashing. Tired of listening to, no, I don't drink. I'm not an alcoholic. I'm really not happy about a lot of things that I see put out on the air, put out on, especially like some of the comments I've seen on Facebook. You know, I'm not really happy about that crap. But I'm not going to go into a detail. I'm not going to deal with that right now because I'm not in the mood to lose my temper. On top of that, we have the topic that I want to cover and what I want to talk about is the difference between the way our country was ran a few years ago versus the way it's being run now. Let's just say, yeah, we're in the middle of a shit show, but it's been, and like I made this comment earlier, the shit show started like maybe 4 or 5 terms before this current one. And it wasn't just the Republicans, it was the Democrats, because they hate each other and they don't want to work together. On top of that, we have individuals in our country that, in my opinion, should not be here. And I'm not talking about, let me make this clear. I'm not talking about the illegal aliens. I'm not talking about a certain race, a certain identity choice. We'll leave it at that, because I don't have a problem with people who choose to be something else. And that's where I'm going to leave it, sitting as somebody else. We also have the We also have a lot of different things going on in our country that shouldn't be going on in our country. But here's a topic I'm going to talk about. And I'm going to be blunt. I wanted this topic to be put on a show tomorrow, but I can't be here to represent the topic, so I'm going to make my comments now. Is the SAFE Act actually worth it? Is it working? No, it's not. On the 4th of July, we had 12 shootings in Buffalo. And then also 2 shootings up in Niagara Falls. Now, come on. The SAFE Act, which is a bullshit law anyway, talking, no semi-automatic weapons. No, magazines only of certain rounds. Do you really honestly think that the criminals give a rat's flying ass about the rules? No. And these guns that they're getting are not registered. They're not bought. They are stolen from somebody else. And we got the SAFE Act. And then we got what Hochul does. She took the choices of who deals with the background check for guns away from the federal government. She runs it through the New York State Police. But guess what? Those guys run you through the frickin' NICS check through the federal government. All you're doing is adding one more jerk off to the list of people that don't need to be in the list. Now we have an ammunition background check. Now we have an ammunition background check. That's a lot of bullshit too. What are you trying to do? Find out who's got the ammunition? Guess what? Doesn't matter who's got the bullets, who's got the guns. It matters if they're a felon, or they've committed a domestic violence, or they've committed a crime that they are not allowed to have a gun. That's the straight point of it. When I bought my guns, I'll tell you exactly the process I had to go through. I had to go to the frickin' store, fill out a piece of paper. They walked away from me down the counter some, and called a 1-800 number that connected them to the federal government, who excuse me, put all my information in the computer and gave you one of 3 choices: denied, delay, or process. And believe me, sometimes I caught a delay. Let's be honest, I caught a delay. Because at the time they're doing like millions of these calls, and they're processing all of this. They have to put the information in the computer and wait for it to come back. There are times where certain guns you didn't have to have a background check for, like black powder guns, black powder rifles. You had to have it for pistols because you need a pistol permit. But a black powder rifle, you did not need a background check. You still don't. You should need a background check for a black powder rifle. And then there's the bullshit SAFE Act. You can't own a gun that has a pistol grip, a rifle or a shotgun that has a pistol grip, because it's illegal. And then, by the way, you have to have your AR-15 magazine pinned, so you have to load it from the top. Guess what? That's a lot of bullshit too. And then, you can't have a magazine that holds over 9 rounds. That's a lot of bullshit too. That was declared unconstitutional by the Supreme Court. On top of all that other shit, our governor doesn't even give a rat's ass about her citizens. Look at some of the shit she's tried to pull. You have to have a background check for your weapons. Let's make New York State entirely electric. Yeah, what happens if we have a massive power failure? There are going to be houses and cars that are going to be stranded. Okay, we have blizzards, we have severe winter storms that knock out power for 3, 4, maybe a week. People are going to be in a lot of problems with no electricity. Because if you really want to get down to nuts and bolts, your furnace runs on electricity even though it's gas. Your car that you supposedly spent all this money on, so you're not burning gas. you're not burning gas, you're charging up on electricity. What are you going to do when you can't charge your car up? When you're driving and your car battery dies in the middle of a winter storm? What are you going to do? Not a damn thing. You're going to be stranded and you're going to die. They've had rolling blackouts in different states because the power grid can't handle the electric cars, and all the charging that goes on. Speaking of electric, your electric bill goes up and up and up and up and up and up and up because we don't have enough electrical feed to New York State. The only place we really get our power from is Canada. Let's piss off the Canadians. And they cut off our power. New York State's fucked. We don't generate our own power. We get all of our power from Canada. All of our electricity comes from Canada. But then you got these people are saying, well, let's build these AI whatever things. They're going to pollute our water, and take up all of our electricity and air. You know what? Yeah, they're going to. But there's nothing we can do to stop them. Because they're going to pay enough money. They're going to get the right people to say yes. They're going to pay enough money. They're going to get the right people to say yes, and they're going to be able to put up their AI centers or their breeding farms, whatever you want to call them. Because they're going to be a front. Let's be honest. These AI centers are not even going to be making AI. They're a front for something else. And honestly, I got into an argument today with somebody I care about. I got into an argument with somebody that I care about. And she made a comment that I shouldn't be allowed to go around shooting people. The bail reform is also a joke. It puts murderers and rapists back on the street. Yes, you're right, Rob. It does. You get an appearance ticket, you come back in a certain amount of days. Nah, you're gone. Because these people that get appearance tickets, like these rapists and these murderers, who get appearance tickets or get told they got to come back, they take off. They leave the state. What are you going to do? Pay to have them expedited? Yeah, try that. Extradited or whatever the fuck it's called. I don't know. I can't even pronounce it. But try that shit. Like, okay, perfect example. A few years back, there was a fight at Canal Fest. It was between two of the game guys. They were given tickets to appear in Tonawanda Court. You know what happened? The guy took off. The guy went back to his home state, never even gave a shit about what was going on here, and nobody's going to pursue him for just a simple public disturbance fighting ticket. And then, guess who our biggest murderers are? Well, nobody ever talks about it, but guess who our biggest murderers are? They're the assholes driving these cars and hitting people. How many deaths, let's look at statistics for a while, guys. How many deaths are by vehicle versus how many deaths are versus weapons or guns? The gun death versus vehicle death sucks. Okay, I'll give you a better one. I'll actually give you some insight for once on my show. They did a survey a few years ago. Like it was a long time ago, honestly, where they took the amount of injuries, sports-related injuries, and they listed them by sports. Guess who gets injured more than hunting accidents? Gun-related hunting accidents. Volleyball players are on the top of that list for injuries. By twisted ankles, messed up arms, and stuff like that. There are days where I keep getting the same stupid ass shit. No, hockey didn't. Hockey wasn't even on hockey. Yes, hockey was on that list, but the number one injury causing sport was volleyball, with twisted ankles and stuff like that. Hunting related accidents in New York State are very slim to none. Yes, once in a while somebody accidentally gets shot, let's be honest, or gets an arrow in them. You know what? You want to know the reason I don't turkey hunt? I'll tell you why I don't turkey hunt. Because you go out in the woods, you're in full camouflage. You're making the sounds of a turkey in full camouflage with nothing to distinguish where you're at. And people shoot at sounds for turkeys. I'm sorry, but I'm not the individual who wants a bunch of BBs coming at me at feet per second. And let's talk about this. Erie County executive tried to say that Erie County was not going to participate in the newest youth hunt law for people allowing I think it's like 12 to 14-year-olds to go out deer hunting for does and stuff like that with an adult supervision. He said, well, we're not going to do that. Luckily, the Common Council overrid his executive whatever. Who the hell is Headwork? Who is Headwork 777? Yeah, you know what? I'll answer your comment, Headwork 777. British say, oh, we're not going to allow guns. Check their fucking violence. Check their violence statistics. They have more stabbings, more domestic violence, more beating deaths than gun deaths. Yes, I understand they cut off guns. Then why do your military get to carry guns? Why do your cops get to carry guns? If you're going to take a right away from a citizen, it should be everybody in the country. Like the SAFE Act, for example. Let's use the SAFE Act, for example. No semi-automatic weapons. But you're going to allow the cops to have freaking semi-automatic handguns and rifles and shit like that. You know, okay, you're going to have rifles. You're going to have other stuff. I'm not saying you're taking the rights away from guns, but if you really want to go there, we can go there. I said the British government said. The British government took away guns. You want to see a professional? I could show you a professional. But you wouldn't like when I become professional. Because when I become professional, people go bang. End of story. Back to where I was talking about. You have to let's say the SAFE Act, okay? You can't have the normal public can't have a semi-automatic shotgun or rifle, but the police can run around with AR-15s not pinned, not magazines pinned. Okay? So, like I said, they can run around with magazines. They can run around with semi-automatic pistols. But if you're a normal citizen, you can't. Okay, let's make this even more intense. Let's look at look at pistol permits. New York State in particular. Yes, we have the toughest pistol permit rules in New York State. That other countries or other states, if you have a pistol permit in New York State, other states will allow you to get a pistol permit in their country or in their state. Sorry, not country. But now here's a fucking little twist. All of New York State, okay? All of New York State has a pistol permit. You have to get a pistol permit. You go to New York City, you have to get another pistol permit to carry in New York City. Now, okay, the pistol permit in New York State is good for everything but New York City. But the pistol permit you get in New York City is good throughout New York State. Tell me why that is. The standard should be one standard for all. But you understand what I'm saying. It should be one standard for all. Like there are hunters out there that like to hunt with an AR-15, like to hunt with a semi-automatic shotgun. They cannot do that anymore. There are certain guns that are banned from public use or from the public being able to own them because they want to put them in. They want to put them in a police category only. Hell, there's a gun range in my city, literally in my city, that only caters to the police. They will only let the police in on the range. Oh my God. I'm really getting aggravated. I'm beyond not happy. But like I said, there are a lot of things going on, and I'm not happy about a lot of it. But I will deal with it in my own way, my own time, my own whatever. Like I said, I will deal with my own issues. Yes, I get angry, but guess what? Too bad. Yes, I get angry. Yes, I get mad. But guess what? You know what? Doesn't matter. It's my show. I can talk how I want. I can be more upset, more aggravated, more whatever. Because it's my show. So, like I've said before, my people's comments. Oh, I see what's going on. I see what's going on. I definitely see what's going on. But never mind. But like I said, there's a few other things that have been going on. A few years from now, things will change. Things will change. You know, they say the 2026 elections will make things change. Guess what? No, they won't. The crooked politicians will be the crooked politicians no matter what. Things, like I said, things will change. I'll be dealing with a lot of, I deal with enough issues. I don't have to be stressed out about old stuff like that. I got 21 minutes left. What am I going to talk about? Let's see. Think. We've got I fixed today. We fixed the headsets. We took care of the one thing, so we're good to go there. Oh yeah. What was I gonna say? There was something I was gonna say. Oh, yeah. If you're not a follower of Think Twice Radio on TikTok, please follow. We're trying to get up to 100 views so we can put up an hour-long shows instead of 10-minute clips. And I really don't care who's got the highest views on that or who gets the highest views on Think Twice, because it's the person's preference what they do on their show. I do have a few concerns. I do have a few concerns of some of the shows that they are starting to get stagnant. They're starting to they're changing their format. They shouldn't change their format. They should have stayed with their old format. They got more views that way. And it was more exciting. It gets boring. Honestly, I don't like doing one-on-one shows. You know, I don't like doing one-on-one shows. Let's be honest. Because I hate talking to myself for an hour. But I will tell you right now, if I had no other choice, I'd do one-on-one shows. I've done them all of my Think Twice life. Let's just put it that way. I was doing radio shows by myself. I was doing I've done a lot of video shows by myself. There has been a few times that I've had some really good shows. Like I said, I've had some really good shows. I've had some really high numbers. My first high numbers was just a 15-second demo to see how this worked out and got it put out on the air. Was 1,500 views. I had a show that I did with a gentleman that I knew that I've known in my past, where I did 1,900 views. I have plans on bringing him back. I have plans on getting some other guests. My show next week, let's be honest, is going to be it's going to be me and a friend of mine talking about his what he got into, or how he got into the wrestling, independent wrestling, what brought him to that. And then following week is going to be, what is it, 20, what would that be? Following week on the 24th, I don't know what I'm doing yet. The 31st, I'm not sure what I'm doing yet. But I'm going to be talking to some like some of the vendors that I know, asking them if they want to come on. I'm going to be trying to get some interesting guests, because you know what? It just takes so much time and prep and discussions. I was supposed to have a show about mental health. That got twisted up because the person couldn't figure out something. But they will be on again. I ask my guests every time I tell them, you want to come back on? Fine, come back on. Or not fine. You're more than welcome to come on. The ones I've had on video, they're more than welcome to come on. My wrestling friends, yes, I've asked them numerous times to come on. And then there's always something different going on. But you know what? It's time to cut this and say, be safe, be strong, I'm out.